What is going on, guys? This is Crowzen, and welcome to a new series on this channel. This time we are in Monster Hunter Wilds with my dual blades Paralysis burst build. So I used this build for the majority of the game, and I had a blast. Even though it's not the most damaging way to play the dual blades, it's probably one of the more fun ways to play, simply because paralyzing monsters in this game is so satisfying. It leaves them open for about 7 seconds where you and your party can just tee off on that monster and deal significant damage within that time frame. And Dual Blade synergizes really well with Paralysis because they are a very quick striking weapon, and combining that with Paralysis means that status is going to build up very fast, and you're going to be able to get 2 complete combos in while that monster is paralyzed. So let's take a look at the build. So taking a look at our equipment, the first thing that you're going to want to do once you get into endgame is start farming for those level 3 decorations, as well as getting enough of parts in order to make your Ardian weapon. For the production bonus, I went with 3 affinity parts. I feel like affinity just works better with this build. And then for the reinforcement bonus, that's really going to come down to RNG. I would have liked one more element boost on this particular weapon because that is going to give you more paralysis effect. And then for the slots, you want to farm the paralysis attack jewel. That is going to be the most significant bonus that you're going to get for paralysis. And that took me probably like 10 hours to find that level 3 decoration for that. So you're definitely going to want to try to get that. And once you get that, then you could start making that Ardian weapon. And then I also went for the critical status there, and then also just one attack jewel boost for the level 3 version. I just felt like that just rounded it out and gave me a little bit of extra attack to complement the high affinity. So prior to endgame, you're going to be using the Lala Barina tree. And even once you get into endgame, I still recommend using the Rarity 7 version of the Lala Barina weapon because you're still going to have higher status with that versus an Ardian weapon until you get paralysis attack and until you get good reinforcement bonuses for that Ardian weapon. So for the armor set, I went with the B set items for all of these pieces. So the Guardian Ebony Helm, the Arc Vulcan Mail, the Guardian Arc Veiled Vambraces, the Gore Coil, and the Gore Greaves. The main thing that you get out of using this set is you're going to be able to get Weakness Exploit level 5 and also Burst level 5, as well as Coalescence level 3 and Antivirus level 3. So what this means is once you get 2 pieces of the Gore set, you're going to become Frenzied. Once that is cleansed, you're going to get an additional 25% affinity boost towards this build, and you're also going to get increased status buildup, which is going to help your paralysis. As far as the decorations, we are going to be using a lot of the Phoenix Jewels in order to get Coalescence maxed out, as well as Chain Jewels in order to get the Burst maxed out. So that's kind of what I did here, so you could see a lot of Phoenix, a lot of Chain. I also went for a little bit of defense with Divine Blessing, and then I also added Constitution to this build, and then also Antivirus. So you're going to need to get all of these jewels and put these in these slots in order to get that maxed out burst, as well as maxed out Coalescence and Antivirus. And for our talisman, we are going to be using the Exploiter Charm 2, and that is going to give you a level 2 to Weakness Exploit, and that will be able to max out your Weakness Exploit that way. So in the end, you're going to have these exact active skills going on your equipment. And for the mantle, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I just went with the Mending Mantle, as this will give you a little bit of nice healing regen boost over 60 seconds. So it can be useful if you're just worried about getting the maximum amount of status build up on a monster and not worried too much about taking a couple of hits. Next up, we could go over some combat tips, and I'm not going to go over every single combination, just some of the ones that I like to use and just some tips in general. So generally, you're not going to be on top of the monster when you start a fight. So the main thing that you want to do is build up your demon gauge and get that thing maxed out. So what I like to do is go into demon mode and then use a demon flurry rush to gain some ground, and then just use a regular Y combo and then go back into another demon rush and then go into another combo. And then once my demon gauge is maxed out, that's when I like to use a triple blade dance. And then I'll just go and repeat that process, go into another triple blade dance, and then from there you can see my stamina is getting really low. So rather than going into another triple blade dance, now I will alternate and go into a demon flurry, And that will be all right triggers, which will actually regenerate my stamina bar. So after that, you basically just rinse and repeat. You also have what I call blue aura mode, which is basically a perfect dodge, which will activate whenever you do something like this. And then you'll see that you have a blue aura on top of you, and this actually buffs you up pretty nicely, and you also are able to just dodge and hit the monster while you are dodging. The problem is, as you see, it drains a lot of stamina by doing that. So I personally wouldn't recommend to spam dodge once you go into this blue aura mode, but you're still going to get a very nice buff. So in a real combat situation, what you would do here is activate Demon Mode and then use Demon Flurry Rush to get closer to that monster and start building up your Demon Gauge and maxing that thing out. Once you have your Demon Gauge maxed out, then it's time to go into the regular combos. Now in this case, because my stamina was already getting low, rather than doing a triple Blade Dance combo, I did a Demon Flurry instead to regen some stamina, and then I went into a Focus Strike and the monster got paralyzed from that. So generally you don't want to use your Focus Strikes while the monster is paralyzed. It's better to use your combinations and to save Focus Strike for when the monster is active, as that'll give you a chance to be immune, and it's also going to give you some paralysis buildup. So I hope you guys enjoyed my Dual Blades Paralysis Burst build, and this build was certainly a lot of fun for me to use for the majority of my playthrough, and it becomes somewhat of a support build when you're with a party because you give them 7 free seconds to go off on that monster, and I really enjoyed that aspect of this build. So let me know what you guys think about this one. Let me know if there are any improvements that you would like to see or how you thought the video was organized, because again, I'm completely new to Monster Hunter Wilds on this channel. And if this video does well, I might continue doing more Monster Hunter Wilds builds. So I will see you guys in the next video.